Hey everybody, and welcome to the Twist Happy Hour. I'm Keryn, and this is Kate, and we love talking to you about cocktails, and while we have conversation about what's trending and what's piquing our interest this week, which could basically be anything from politics to pop culture. So today we're going to make anything that's out there that we're like, what? So today we're going to make an Empress bloom because it's cherry blossom season, which is one of my favorite seasons of the year and probably the thing I miss most about living in Washington, D.C. So we're going to head on over and we're going to make one. Hey everybody. Okay. Today we're going to make an Empress blossom bee's knees. So that means I'm going to use Empress gin, that pretty blue gin that turns color with citrus. But I'm also going to use cherry blossoms. So let's get started. So right now, let's start with our booze so you can see those beautiful colors change. We're going to do 2 ounces. So remember, I'm not a trained bartender. I just really like to mix different things. So then we're going to do 0.75 of cherry blossom simple syrup that I made. Starting to get a little color change. And a little bit of honey because it's not a bee's knees without honey. Or maybe that was the lemon juice. Who knows? Nope, this is the honey. So yeah, that's why it's turning pink because that was the lemon juice. And then we're going to add about a ½ ounce of honey. That's it. That's pretty easy. And then I'm going to add ice. We're going to give it a really good shake. Really good shake. But we still need a glass, which I forgot. So just wait 1 second. I'm going to get it out of my freezer because there's nothing better than a chilled glass for a cocktail. Hang on. And here you have it. So I actually usually don't mix in this one. It's easier to show what it is going on in it. So, and I really don't like the lid very much because it sometimes falls off. So I'm going to use this 4-prong blossom strainer. And I'm just going to strain it in. Look how pretty that is. A little pink, a little purple. And then, because I always have pansies around because I live in Southern California and I can grow them pretty much year round, I'm going to put this as my garnish. Ta-da! Super pretty. Take a little sip. Oh yeah, that's a nice cocktail. It's a little too sweet for you. You can back up on the cherry blossom syrup or the honey syrup or add a little bit more lemon. But anyway, cheers. Guys, and welcome back. So here we go. Here's our cocktail. It's delicious. It's pinker than it looks on the screen right now, probably.
You got a pretty glass like you have, even though I have to sit in my closet like a pauper.
I love it. But you know what? Kate's going to be back in her house after her unfortunate electric bike fire at her house.
Can't believe it.
Oh my gosh. We'll have a Welcome Back Kate episode. It'll be great.
Yes.
But instead of welcoming you back this week, we're going to welcome back Little House on the Prairie. Is coming back if you didn't know. Netflix has already recorded season 1. They have already ordered up season 2, which I find hilarious. Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was reading a press release about that on Netflix and I was just like, okay, I guess we really are like hammering into this cottagecore movement. Or what did I send you earlier today? It's like poetcore, which is this whole like romanticized view of like life in the olden days where like, you know, which if you, so people who don't.
Vintage, like it was like when we were kids, we were like, oh, we want things from the 60s. Like they're going way back.
They're going way back.
Hundreds of years back.
Yeah. And, you know, when dysentery was normal and
going to the bathroom outside was totally fine.
Well, you know, we're not vaccinating anymore, so we could bring it all back.
Go for it.
But for anybody who doesn't know, the interesting thing about Little House on the Prairie, which was a book series written by Laura Ingalls Wilder, who died in 1950. I was like, man, she must have died like in 1700. No, No, these were like 1800s settlers. My maiden name is actually Ingalls, and I am very distantly related to her. So if you know the show,
everyone.
I am. I'm a celebrity in my,
She's somebody.
So Laura Ingalls Wilder's dad was Charles, and he was one of 5 brothers, and I come off of one of his brothers. So like me and Laura Ingalls Wilder are related in like a deep triangle down here.
6th cousins or something.
6th cousin, like 5th removed or something like that. I don't know. I remember it was a really big deal when my mom disproved that we were just like direct descendants, and it's my dad's side of the family, so that was a big deal. Wow. Anyway, so the show's coming back.
You must be sad since it's your 6th cousin that wrote the whole book series.
You know what? I was the kid in the family who I refused to read the books because it was expected of us. Like my sister read all of them. It was one of the only shows we were allowed to watch as kids, though. So I did watch it because I just wanted to watch TV. But I'm looking at like the lineup of all the actors and what parts they're playing. And I'm already like, okay, we have Laura. We have her older sister, Mary. I'm like, okay, well, like Carrie and Grace are also sisters. So where are they? Or are they not? So they may not be born yet on this show because they are, you know, yeah. Oh no, they're starting at the beginning of the whole thing. So because the books were kind of like a semi-autobiographical fictional thing, because in the books and the movies, maybe it was just the show. The Ingalls family ends up adopting like 4 different kids, and that never happened. Like,
there are movies?
No, it's just the show. I'm sorry.
That starred. I missed.
No. It starred Melissa Gilbert, who went on to have an interesting career. But for me, I'm like, okay, where is the Olsen family? Because Nellie Olsen was like the original mean girl and the bully.
Yeah, the blonde kind of.
Yes, with like the really tight ringlets, and her parents own like the store or something. I don't see her anywhere on the cast list.
Really?
And I don't know if she'll come later.
There won't be any conflict on this show. It'll just be.
I mean,
sailing.
Yeah. I'm sure. But
do you think that the resurgence of this show is all part of this whole like Tradwife cottagecore trend that's been happening over the last year?
I think it's definitely been played into that because, you know, it's that whole let's get back to wholesome and what like traditional life is supposed to look like, put women back in the home where, I mean, the nice thing is that Charles and Caroline, the parents on the show, actually were deeply and madly in love. It was not a marriage of convenience. So I'm like, okay, we can all get behind that. There's something. But yeah, I think it's just like, let's go back to home. Like, I know people that are like homesteaders. Some people say I'm an urban homesteader. And I'm like, I call it a plantaholic who likes to.
You have things in your driveway.
I do. It's amazing.
Crazy. She's got like a garden in her driveway. But okay, so for the people like me who are imbeciles and don't know what cottagecore is because we are not keeping up with the trends. Explain that, because you were the one that was like, oh, this is trending right now. Like it's all over Etsy. And I'm like, what is that? What is it? Just fluffy, like lace?
So it's like quilted patterns and gingham and the toile de joie, like, you know, French patterns and the chinois, like patterns that you would find on plates, but now you're finding it on bags and on dresses. I mean, I walk into boutique store now and I do read like the Etsy trend reports and I follow people who are reporting on the Etsy trends because that is my 9th other career I have going on right now. And it's just fascinating to see like those really big, like bows and anything that's kind of that cutesy, girly vintage. Yes, puff sleeves. I mean, you and I were just in Florida together and we were at like a rest stop and they had all these clothes and they had these big like puff sleeves, but they were like short, you know, of course, dresses, but like in the gingham patterns and the vintage patterns and
very weird.
You know, if anybody who.
It's weird. It's just, I didn't expect this as a comeback for fashion. Are we going to bring back bonnets? I'm not doing that.
Oh, I'm not doing bonnets. No. Big sun hats, yes. I can always get down with a giant sun hat to block the sun. But bonnets, I'm like.
I find it very interesting that this is the way that people want to kind of go with the lifestyle. Because, like, that's hauling water from a well. Like, that's indoor plumbing is not a thing. You know what I mean? Like the Amish.
Oh, yeah.
They're killing it at this already. They've been doing it.
Yeah, they never let it go. And that's, you know, that is a lifestyle they've chosen.
Do the bonnets. So
they do bonnets. And they live off the grid and all those things, which I'm like, good on them. Like, at least they like picked their lifestyle and they've stuck to it. But this whole jumping on, I'm like, okay, even the Amish have indoor plumbing, guys. Like, now I have not seen people like building houses without indoor plumbing, and I don't know if that'll ever happen.
I mean, I'm sure somebody's doing it.
I mean, somebody is. I mean, people like to like camp for a living.
Real hardcore.
Yeah. I mean, I will never go and camp with you and our friends in Florida because I like indoor plumbing. I camped for 18 years of my life because we couldn't afford to do other stuff, and I'm good. I am good now to never have to wander outside at 2 a.m. to find a spot.
You can camp at places that have a bathroom that has indoor plumbing.
But I want that. I do not want to leave my dwelling to go anywhere.
In the middle of the night and trek across the woods and stuff.
I mean, this goes back to an earlier episode we did where I don't want the zombie apocalypse to happen one time I'm camping and I have to go out to the bathroom.
Because then that's when the zombies will come.
That is when they will come. Middle of the night.
Are they now? Okay, so this doesn't have anything to do. I don't know why I'm making this tie-in. Like this whole movement is not in line with like the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives thing, right?
No.
That chick is now on The Bachelor, or she was gonna.
Yeah, they just canceled The Bachelor, right?
And she was involved in some sort of terrible experience.
Yes.
I don't remember what it was. The app or something. I don't know.
I kind of blocked that show allegedly,
but it just seems there's like the Tradwife thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is very, but we saw the resurgence of the prairie dress in like Target 2 years ago. So this has kind of been a long time ago.
And the prairie dress, I mean, think about it. We were wearing that in the 90s as well, but we were wearing it with Doc Martens.
For yourself.
I was not, okay? I had a very different thing going on with my
I had
outfits.
a 6-inch mohawk in the 90s, so I was not.
But again, like if you were wearing gingham, you had Doc Martens on in the 90s. Like that was your like cottagecore punk rock.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
So maybe early 2000s. I could be, we're old. I can't remember what decade I was doing what.
I feel good about if they go punk rock with it. Like I could get on board with.
Which I think some people are, but some people just really like that, sweet, nostalgic look. And
running through a meadow
with their doodle, fonts. And I mean, the other thing, okay, besides the cottagecore trend, there's also this whole 90s resurgence. So those are starting to do trend combining as well, where you have
you see the Doc Martens.
You may see the Doc. So you are seeing the grunge distressed fonts with the cottagecore gingham background and all this I mean, really, you can walk into any boutique in America and possibly globally. I don't know. I mean, let's go to Japan and see what they're doing with this because they always do something amazing. But I could tell you, I'm like, oh yeah, that's been on Etsy. That's been on Etsy. That has, you look at any runways from last year, you're seeing the colors that are now coming into these things. You might not be seeing gingham on the runway, but you're going to be seeing that teal or those cool pastels. And I mean, I could talk about this for hours. I find it fascinating.
I will literally die laughing if I watch a fashion show and it is just cottage prairie dresses walking.
Oh yeah.
I would.
Well, last summer, everybody wanted sardines on their clothing. They wanted those
sardines needed their moment. Okay.
They still are having a moment. That's the thing. I'm like, wow, I thought that would have died out by now. But well, and this classic,
the
tins, the classic tins, and that 1950 style design and all those graphics. I mean, it's like going back to Mad Men era, which I am currently binging and being reminded how horrible. Even if men were 5% as horrible as the men on this show and what the women accepted, I'm like, oh Lord, I'm so glad I was not born in the 60s or the 50s.
Yeah. I think I think maybe our next episode, we need to have a conversation about the manosphere, which is probably controversial, but I had a whole conversation with my child today about it. And
there's a whole documentary.
Discuss.
Yeah. I will watch the documentary, but it's on Netflix, right? Before our next episode. So there you go, everybody. There's your homework before our next episode.
Everybody watch the next Netflix.
Binge watch the old Little House of the Prairie so you can compare and contrast and
make a bee sneeze.
Make a bee sneeze, and use your Empress gin to do it so it turns a pretty color.
And I'm very curious for anyone who wants to comment on this video of our 4 subscribers or whatever. If as a mom, as a today female, are you going to allow your daughters to watch Little House on the Prairie with the same context of that Tradwife thing? Like, are you having?
I don't know I think Tradwife and Little House on the Prairie Wife are different because it's not.
They were not babies. They were not CEOs.
I feel like the Tradwives are bringing it like to a way different level than Little House. Because Little House on the Prairie is about like homesteading. It's not about like submitting to all of your husband's needs. It's being this woman who had to have an adventurous spirit and had to put up with a lot of crap, as did her husband, as they tried to make it. Like, the Ingalls family moved because crops were dying where they lived. They needed to find a better place. And it's the life of like their kids kind of living on the Wild West frontier. Right. And what do we do? And meeting like the other locals and the Native Americans in the area.
I have a wrong impression of, I think I only watched
no.
I was a kid, so.
No, it's very, I mean, there are traditional man and women roles in it because it's depicting the 1800s and homesteading back in the 1800s when homesteading was legit and you had to do it.
You didn't eat.
The general store got like a delivery once a month from somewhere else, and that was it. You had to grow everything else. While today, I feel like the Tradwife thing is a very submissive woman to her husband.
Yeah.
And only does what he says, while like, homesteaders back in the 1800s, you had to obey your husband, blah, 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 blah. But like, you also had to have some grit and an opinion of your own, or no.
Yeah, really?
I haven't read it yet because that stubborn teenager in me saying no. But I have perused through it, and she was quite a good writer.
The real question about the new show is, is Melissa Gilbert going to make a cameo? I would imagine that they've at least reached out.
I feel like there's a couple people are no longer with us, but a couple other people, I'm like, is Nellie Olson still alive? Because I really want her to be on.
Well, they at least need to have her character. That's like the one character I did remember.
Everybody did. And then, like, it was kind of like Cressida Culpepper on Bridgerton, where you're like, I hate you, but then you find like a little soft side to her, and you're like, oh, okay.
For you, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Well, I'll have to see. I'll have to watch.
We'll have to see. It's coming in July. We'll have a little, like, online watch party and go, no. Or, oh, yes, this is so cute. I'm sure I'll make my kids watch one episode just for posterity.
Kid playing Laura.
So she was on, what was it, Lessons in Chemistry with Brie Larson.
Oh, okay.
She plays her daughter, like her little girl.
I gotcha.
So I'm like,
I've been reading for 2 years, by the way.
Well, it was a very good show if you haven't watched that. And I do feel like that casting will be good because she does have that little precocious face.
Okay.
So it'll work out.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So
bring it, Netflix.
Bring it. Let's see what happens. All right, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us on the Twist Happy Hour. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you have an opinion about this. And we will see you next week. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.